The time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Yes, people. Okay, January the 5th. Boris has instilled another lockdown. The wife works in town. The wife tells me that town, since this implementation, Orwellian implementation, has become somewhat of a ghost town. So I thought I would have a little look round, ride round, just try and gauge the mood. My main theory is, as people will know who are grossly concerned about what is going on currently, Boris has implemented rules of such draconian measures where they are almost irreversible, if not already irreversible. When you look at the anxiety and the way it affects the average individual, whether you are red-pilled or woke, whether you are just a normal individual going through your daily life. The fear and the trauma techniques that have been used on this certain topic has been nothing but legendary. We've heard councillors, we've heard politicians, Labour politicians, speak of let's not let a good crisis go to waste in terms of COVID. Then that scratches to the politicalisation of the whole subject, which should never be. When you talk about people losing their jobs, people getting anxiety, people suffering from abuse, people not being able to live a free and open life in what they felt was a free and open society. So I thought I'd have a little ride round and see. Let's have a little look, see what the mood is like. Looking at it anthropologically, people, just looking at people, looking at the vibe, the masks, how, why people wear masks.
That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes.
So wrong for people who haven't got a Scooby-Doo on what's going on, but yet they're going to be so complicit and so acquiescent because they've got no choice in their world. That world must be a scary world. So as I'm riding round, I can see it in people's eyes. I can see people just looking down with the face mask on, not interjecting, not even looking where you're going. It's almost like the intermittent journey on the street is a chore in order to get to point B, as it were. You don't want to be out there. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't come across as comfortable.
You should not be meeting friends. If your friends ask you to meet, you should say no. You should not be meeting family members who do not live in your home. You should not be going shopping except for essentials like food and medicine. And you should do this as little as you can.
People side swerve you. I'll be riding the bike and they'll literally look at me and give me so much room, which you can only assume is overcompensating. Now I can only assume again it's overcompensating over the current situation and the way the fear has trickled through their freaking veins to the point that that's how it manifests. So you look at any city, anywhere in the country, it's the heartbeat of that region. It culminates a lot of areas, your average town centre. It becomes the vitality of that region, the main hub, you could argue. So you take that away from people, what have they got? They've got the house. Once they shut the door, they feel safe. Think of the vitality that happens in any town centre. Clubs, cosmopolitan lifestyle, coffee shops, restaurants. It's a wonderful place. This issue is a non-partisan issue. That's the crazy thing. This doesn't enter paradigms. This goes right to the core of humanity. So I don't know why it gets politicised. I've no idea why people want to choose a side on this topic. Because fundamentally what's happening to one family, no matter what their paradigm, will be happening to the opposite family of the opposite paradigm. So that should be the compromise. Human instincts have been denied.
To ensure compliance with the government's instruction to stay at home, we will immediately close all shops selling non-essential goods, including clothing and electronic stores, and other premises, including libraries, playgrounds and outdoor gyms and places of worship. We'll stop all gatherings of more than 2 people in public, excluding people you live with. And we'll stop all social events, including weddings, baptisms and other ceremonies, but excluding funerals.
And what it's looking like when I'm going around town, people are happy getting along with it. Is it a question of people don't know what to do? They feel lost, that lost? Either way, this is a death to society. I can't see it ever coming back to normality. Same again, so if people are at this moment in time speaking about the ills and the anomalies of this current argument, you can see why they will be doing it. Because on a trajectory currently where we're going, society is going to be done in a couple of years. The younger generation are going to be conditioned to such where they're not going to live their lives like we did as children. Is it the Great Reset? Something is resetting for sure. And we're watching it happen. And what it looks like going around town, there's not too much resistance against it. So that spills again to the bigger point. If man is not going to have any fight against totalitarianism, does man deserve to be in totalitarianism? That's the cruel conundrum.
I know the damage that this disruption is doing and will do to people's lives, to their businesses and to their jobs.
Freedom is not free anymore. Have we got now a population that's got no fight, wants to give up, just wants to go along with the promise of the next TV program, of the next Xbox, of the next film that's coming out? Are they going to be acquiescent until they get all them things? Are we now faced in the 21st century where you've got a population of people that the majority of them are fit and healthy and got the adequate amount of antibodies in order to fight this? Have we now got a system where those people are going to be convinced that they need to vaccinate? If vulnerable people need to vaccinate, that is fine, if they so choose to. Once they've been vaccinated, then that should be the problem solved. Is it not a situation of pro-choice? Should there be a referendum as to whether a vaccination should be rolled out to the whole population? I guess they won't want to do that because the last time they held a referendum, i.e. Brexit, it massively backfired. So that might explain why when you're watching TV programs, there's not even a question of whether you want it. It's almost you're getting it. Like I say, starting from the beginning, when you've got most of the population that seems to have the adequate antibodies in order to fight this, when you're getting more spikes in cases, but then the deaths are not running in line with the spike in cases, that says to me that more people are recovering from COVID-19 than dying. That is the bottom line. We know that. The figures tell us that. The recovery rate is far superior to the deaths. The numbers tell you that. We're a lot fitter than what the establishment will put us up for. A lot fitter. The numbers tell you that. Are we now a population that has stopped thinking? Ultimately, that's what it feels like to me. And what's even more dangerous, unfortunately, the worrying aspect is not the rollout of draconian measures by the government. The worrying aspect is your fellow human being that has stopped thinking, that lives right next door to you, that is stood right next to you at the bus stop. For their actions or inactions, their reflections, their thoughts, they're going to work against people who do think all the time. Cognitive dissonance is probably going to be more prevalent than COVID at this moment in time. Well, on my reflection of going round town, it was quite eerie, I must admit, to look at it in that state, to watch people walk round almost acquiescent to what is going on. You can see it written all over their face, but they're still doing it. 2021, the brave new world. Red Pill Phil. Love you all, even you pissing haters.
I love you all. 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 I love you all.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all.